How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier Show is going to give you. My name is Mathew Park. This is Jaime Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve. Wow. Look who I have on this. You guys are all smiling. I love it. Jaime, Ross, how are you two doing today?
I'm good. It's a good day. Today's a great day to change lives.
I agree.
Yeah,
Ross?
really good. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for inviting me onto this. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Well, guys, we are welcoming you guys to the first ever launch of the TRM podcast show. We're going to have some fun. We're going to come to you guys every week for about half an hour or so for a topic on your training and coaching business. We're going to be co-hosting with Jaime Filer herself, our TRM mentor, and having our TRM leaders coming in here like the unstoppable force from the UK, Mr. Rockstar Ross. He's just full of energy. Me and Jaime love his accent, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. Jaime once again stole my volumizer for her wonderful hair, but that's okay because that's part of our podcast show. And of course, I used Ross's gel for my hair today. So welcome, team, to our amazing podcast show. Jaime Filer, TRM mentor, been with us for 2.5 years, powerhouse girl from Canada, now living in Florida. I said Florida, Miami, David, by the way, so you know.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, that's fine.
All
of New York is New York City. It's like all of Florida is Miami. I get it.
She is our mentor, our TRM coach. She has been now just helping serve TRM at the highest level right now. Jaime, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Matt. I'm excited for our first episode ever. I want to unleash all of the things, and I cannot believe you're capping us at 30 minutes. It's almost rude.
I agree with you to a certain extent there, actually.
Yeah.
And I want to introduce our TRM leader, this unstoppable force from the UK rockstar thunder. His name is Ross Cowan. He owns a wonderful company called AF Coaching, correct, Ross?
And AF Coaching.
AF Coaching. Yeah, which means I'll let Ross describe that in a second, guys. And of course, he is also the owner of VTPT, the world's first ever virtual platform for coaching, guys. Absolutely, it's going to be insane. We can't wait to see us launch in TRM with all of our members. Welcome, Ross.
Thank you very much for having me, mate. Excited to be here. Like Jaime said, I think it's going to be quite hard to keep it concise to 30 minutes, but I'm really proud to be part of this. This is going to be really epic. So let's do it. Let's
jump in. So our topic, guys, for today is laying a strong foundation for your training and coaching business. Okay, so I'm actually going to go to Jaime Filer first. Actually, Jaime, obviously you and I are co-hosting this together with our wonderful Ross today. What sort of things, as we kind of go to Ross to kind of pick his brain here on wisdom, would you suggest are really important fundamentals that you think are important for a coaching business and foundational principles?
You have to remember that even though this is something you love to do, it's also going to be what puts a roof over your head and food on the table. So you cannot treat this like a part-time job the way, some people just become a personal trainer to pay for college, and then the day they graduate, they're going out and doing something else. If you genuinely want to make this a full-time career, you have to make it a full-time career. You have to put as much energy and intention and purpose into it as you would anything else. This can't just be a side hustle for you.
Brilliant. Ross?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When it comes to, at this point, everyone's very excited. They want to go out and just start training lots of people, but you have to have an outcome that is for you. This is your business first. You need to think, what do I want this business to do for me? I was convinced that when I was 20 years old, I was like, I'm going to train other 20-year-old lads who wants to be bodybuilders. But the point was that I wanted something that gave me freedom, and 20-year-old lads who wanted to be bodybuilders didn't have enough money to pay for my freedom. So you have to go that stuff first. So being super clear about what the business is going to do for you. Is it financial freedom? Is it having more time? Having that as a base. And if you start from there, people who don't start from that kind of perspective, is like getting into a car and driving to a new destination that you've never been, and without putting something in your sat nav, you're just going to end up lost. And people can do this for years. So being super clear on what the business is going to do for you first, then thinking about who you want to serve, and then going from there.
Good one, Ross. Very, very good. What do you think are that was really fundamental for your coaching business right now? When you obviously you had BT Fitness for about 10 years, now you got strong AF coaching right now with that company as well. What would you say are the core fundamental principles you guys have used in building your companies over time that are important for foundational success?
It was understanding the difference between three different currencies. Everyone always focuses on money, and money's good, but then money is absolutely worth nothing if you don't have enough time. And then the biggest one, the most important thing out of everything is energy. You could have all the money in the world, all the time in the world, but if you're absolutely burnt out because you have no energy left, then it's not going to work. So we stripped away everything that we did. We just focused on how can we protect our energy as much as we possibly can? How can we have the biggest impact? Use the most amount of automation and tools online to protect our energy. And then we pivoted back in that way. We positioned ourselves in the market as being super niche. And I know we may be jumping ahead a little bit at this point. We are going to cover this at a later date. But that was the most important thing, Matt. Protecting your energy is number one.
Jamie, you want to, when we ask Ross some questions for Ross, you want to ask him? Or want to go deeper on that, Jamie?
In terms of picking a principle that
Correct.
has helped.
Yeah.
Do what works until it stops working.
Yeah.
There is no reason why just because you go from 10 to 20K, you have to change things. If it's working for you, keep doing that thing which got you from 10K to 20K or 5K to 10K. It's when at 10 or 15K, you start to become overwhelmed, or you no longer have energy and you're burnt out, or you're running out of time to do everything that needs to be done, that it is time to pivot. But don't develop the shiny new object syndrome just because you think that's what you're supposed to do. Just keep running the play that works until it doesn't work, and then change it.
That's very well said, Jamie. Wow. Ross?
In this situation, again, when it comes to, and this is about laying the foundation of a business, so it's about having a destination to go to. It's understanding goals. When you're talking to your clients, you need to understand that everything needs to be emotionally charged. Like Tanny, who is part of the TRM team, her favorite saying is, if it doesn't light you up, it's not going to get you up. If you're talking about the context of your clients, you want to make sure that when someone comes to you and say, look, I want a six-pack, you understand that's not really what they want. They want to be confident in their body, and they want to be able to attract someone from the opposite sex and be the best version of themselves. And a byproduct is a six-pack. When you are looking at laying the foundations of your business, the money that you get is going to be a byproduct. But the things you need is, for me, I really want a Lamborghini, and I'm going to get that. But that's going to be the result. What I'm really doing this for is because I want to provide financial security for my mum. So understanding the reasons, the driving factors, why you're doing what you're doing is such an important thing at this stage, which again is laying the foundation. So is it time? Is it freedom? Whatever you're doing, make sure it's an emotionally charged goal to start. Because when it comes to the tough mornings, as we're going to find out as you go through this entrepreneurial process, getting up in the morning to make an extra 10K is quite hard when it's cold and miserable and you're tired. But doing it to be an inspiration to your children or to provide financial security for your mum is going to help you show up on the days that you don't want to, which is going to be the most important thing from a foundational standpoint, and every single day for the rest of the time that you do this.
Wow. Well said, Ross. Well said. Jamie, you've built a 1.5K a month business to a 45K a month business in the last 2.5 years, which is absolutely insane. That's why you're a mentor right now in TRM. Okay. What would you say in doing that is the core fundamental principles that you need to have in your business to keep it foundationally strong?
Ross actually touched on this point, and it was picking a super niche audience. I have known since the beginning of time that I wanted to serve women. They're my people. I feel like women are sold a bill of goods in the fitness industry that is all about fat burners, quick fat loss diets, shredding down, and they get the most unhealthy view of themselves, let alone their bodies in the process. So at 1,500, I was serving women. And then at 5,000, I was serving the LGBTQ community. And then at 15K, I was serving the LGBTQ community with anxiety. So it all starts with knowing exactly who you want to help and serve and impact, and then honing in on it with each phase of growth of your business.
That was three thumbs up, Jamie. Not some.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, this is all live. So, Ross, do you want to?
I couldn't agree more. I didn't realize the conversation was going to go this way about niching, but if we're talking about laying the foundations of your business, knowing who you're going to serve after you realize what the business, what you do for yourself is everything. So the analogy for this, if people go into the fitness industry say that I'm going to help everyone, it's like Jamie says, it's like going into a stadium and firing a confetti cannon and just hoping that something hits. But the problem is that you become a jack of all trades and a master of absolutely none, which means you don't really solve a problem for anyone specifically, as opposed to, like Jamie says, there are things who help high performance women, like overcome anxiety without crash diets or cardio, and all of a sudden you become very, very specific. And it's a super important thing you can do, because especially in the online space, everything is very, very noisy. You can find any information about anything you want. So if you want to become very, very successful, whether that be having more time, energy, or money, the most important thing you can do is find out someone who you want to serve. 3 things you need. It needs to be something that you enjoy doing. So if you don't like working with women, probably pick men. It needs to be something that serves those people, most importantly, and it also needs to earn you money. A lot of people I love working with women. I know that it's something that can serve them, but they don't charge them any money in order to do it. You must have all 3 of these things. Cannot stress that enough. In the same way that it can earn you lots of money, it's serving those people, but you just can't stand talking to that type of person. You must take these things into consideration at the beginning. I think that could be probably one of the biggest fundamentals, to be fair, thinking about it.
That's great. That's great. So here's a question for both of you. What if you are a coach watching this right now, but you aren't at 10K a month yet? Do you go dive into your niche right away? Do you start, like, what sort of technique would you give almost like a beginner coach making about 5K a month, 4K a month, 6K a month? Would you, because obviously, Jimmy, you made a good example of like how you kind of evolved as you made more money in your business, right?
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone like that who's more of a beginner?
To still start somewhere. And it you don't have to start with gender. You can start with, we've got one person in Platinum who does pain management and inflammation. So that's a pain point because that's her specialty, and she's more than happy serving men and women. So even if you enjoy helping both men and women and you don't really care the age, 25, 45, 65, that's great. How about we just focus on lower back pain? Maybe that's your specialty. Maybe just adrenal fatigue. Maybe super stress, time management, CEOs in general.
Yeah, that was great. That was very good, Jamie. Whew. Ross?
Yeah, it's just reps. If you're at the beginning of your journey and you're like, I don't really know who I want to train people for a month, and ask yourself, out of the 5 people that I trained today, which one of those people could I turn up and talk to every single day and really, really enjoy it? And then it's a process of just refining these things down. Again, I was completely wrong. I was like, no, 20-year-old bodybuilders, that's what we're going to do. They didn't have any money. I wasted a lot of time for a year trying to chase people who were like me. But in the background, I had a roster of clients and there was women, and I just started building these things up. And then the natural refining process will happen as you go. It comes with qualifications and going to mentorship programs and exposing yourself to different things. But that thing is really, really interesting for me. It will be a natural process for you, as long as you always have in the back of your mind, the end result is to be the absolute freaking specialist in one thing. It doesn't matter where you start from at that point, but if you always have that in the back of your head, you'll just start to pick these things up. The universe will conspire to give you these things, whether you think that's a bit woo-woo or not. If you put these things out there and that is your goal, you will always work towards it, and that will be the quickest way to scale up.
That's amazing. That's really awesome, Ross.
Yeah.
I'll give one technique or one simple tactic for the beginners who obviously right now are watching is, so you guys are making, say you're making right now 4 to 5K right now, whatever basically it is for you guys. I would suggest go to your top client you have right now. Maybe you got 10 clients right now, pick your top client. Take that one client and basically ask yourself, okay, what was the main things or reasons they came to you for in the first place on their ideal pain points? Maybe it was on weight loss, maybe it was on poor eating habits, maybe it was on self-image, basically whatever it was. Start there. Start with that one best client you currently have right now in your business model, whether it's online or in person or in a gym. Identify their pain points, and that's where you can start, like anyone else's. And from there, you can evolve. Like Ross mentioned, as you coach more and more and more people, you'll find out where you can best serve on that niche. Like Jane mentioned, she found her exact niche down to the onion layer, at 20K a month and beyond, right?
Yep.
Totally. Yep.
I'm going to pass the baton to Jamie for a second. Just kind of pass it, and then you could be host for a second, Jamie, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it to my co-host, partner in crime.
You got it. You got it. So another thing about the foundational layer, and Matt, you touched on this briefly when you talked about price and how to charge, assuming people weren't making 5 or 10K yet. The foundation starts with your confidence. Because, you know, as Ross said, there's so much noise in the online space right now. If you aren't confident or comfortable with your voice, then no one's going to know what you do. If you can't, we're not talking about selling yourself, getting on a sales call. We're not there yet. We're talking just getting in front of your phone or your camera on Instagram to tell the world what it is you have to offer them. So before you even start to get in a business, make sure you're confident in your own skin first, because nobody is going to buy from an imposter. People are going to see right through it.
Ross?
Yes, I was right. Yeah, confidence and congruency.
Yeah.
Congruency is having, again, which is why at this point, I know we're probably going to talk about like writing down and vision boards and things like that. But if you're congruent in your message, you could be super, super confident and talking to men one day, then women, then fat loss, then muscle building. A very confident person given a very incongruent message is also going to be lost in all the noise. So having a confidence in yourself is that I'm here to serve a certain type of person. I'm going to invest energy and time into making sure that when I show up and I'm on a camera, I'm talking to a very specific type of person all the time. That congruency will help you so much. You could actually be congruent and a little bit nervous, like everyone is, if we're all being really, really honest, and the congruency will definitely help.
That's awesome. Let's go rapid fire, guys. Rapid fire back and forth between you guys. Like actually all three of us. If we could almost like just kind of rapid fire techniques, tips, tactics that are important for laying a strong foundation, 10, 20 seconds, each person, guys, are on the round table.
Yeah.
Let's go around the table, guys, kind of have let's just share certain things, guys. So what do you guys think? We'll go to Ross first. Share a tactic. What do you think?
We spoke about this before. Have an emotionally charged goal. Know why you're doing the things that you want to do in the business that you want. And once you have that, create vision boards. Have a journal. Write this stuff down 10 times every single day. I'm going to have this kind of business. I'm that kind of person. It is all about reps, most importantly.
Jamie?
Have a team of support around you.
Yeah.
Including a mentor, but also just friends, partners, significant others. Make sure that people know your goal and they're ready to support you, because this is a journey you do not want to be on alone.
So true. I'm going to share goal clarity from module 1 in TRM 10K. Is goal clarity. It's funny enough, we had like 20 some people on our call on Tuesday's call, Jamie, and goal clarity came up as well the biggest weakness for most of all people on that call. So goal clarity, as simple as it is critical on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Ross?
Yeah.
Goal clarity written on a wall in pen on an hour-by-hour basis. This wasn't by accident. This also brings me on to my second point, which is your environment. Being super clear about your goals, putting reps in, just like building muscles, and making sure you're in an environment which is congruent with the person that you want to be is absolutely everything.
Jamie?
Build up your mental strength to be able to handle the ups and downs, both physiologically and psychologically, of being an entrepreneur that deals with other people's emotions every single day.
Ross and Jamie, you guys got good tactics. Mine would be taking daily mini breaks to keep yourself recharged and primed so you can keep building and growing successfully.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback on that. Energy cycles, micro cycles and macro cycles. Every 5 to 7 days, you need a break, even though you feel like you may not want to. And every 8 to 12 weeks, you need a week off. The problem is that you will go keep on head down, blasting, and you start to drop the ball on things that should be pretty standard for you. You don't want to put your head down and come up a year later and be like, you know what, I've probably been running at 60%. Book these times in advance. It is your business. It's supposed to give you life that you want first. Factor that stuff in.
Wow, really good.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back frequently, because not a lot of people can do this. So many people are super happy in their 9-to-5s and their cubicles and whatnot. And you chose a life of surprise and opportunity. And if you get one client in your first 2 weeks of business, you might be upset that it wasn't 5 or 10, but pat yourself on the back because you just made one sale, and that one sale will grow into 10 and 100 and 1,000.
Very good. That was very good. Mine is have fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you are working 7 days a week on your phone, 12 hours a day, you're going to burn out pretty fast and you're going to crash. And I did this so many freaking times. So this is why it's important. When you're laying your foundation, make sure you have fun, have adventure, get out with people you love. Ross talked about, Jamie talked about environment, energy cycles, Ross. Have fun.
Yeah. On a more refined level than that, be careful the amount of time you spend on your phone. Energy, like all this kind of stuff, it's super important. You don't realize if you have an online business, if you look at your screen time and you're plus 5 hours a day, you'll have no reason why you feel so stressed and anxious and comparing yourself to everyone. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Cut off your phone, okay? Protect your energy, set app limits. Super important.
Ooh, good one, Ross.
You just touched on it. Don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone is at a different cycle, a different step in their cycle and in their journey. Just because I have 100 clients doesn't mean you should have had 100 clients yesterday. Everyone is on their own journey. You are exactly where you need to be.
So good. Plan, okay? You need to plan to be able to strategically grow, which means, simple as it is, brain dumping end of the day, prioritize for the next, take weekly half an hour on Sundays, plan out the next 7 days. You will literally probably get back 5 to 7 hours of your week, maybe even more, doing planning cycles, daily dumps. That sounds so bad. Into prioritizing for more growth. Ross.
Okay, this is my biggest one out of all this. I want to tell every single one of you now that success is not sexy. So what you see on Instagram, these filtered versions of Jaime Filer on a jet plane going off to a business, this is what people want you to see. But in reality, the situation, in order to do anything successfully, it's not that sexy. It's writing things up on the wall. It's making sure that you're not on your phone too much. It's following up on the things you need to do. It's doing things you don't want to do consistently, which gets you the result. You're not going to get sold this. We don't sell it to, we don't, I personally don't, but people in the fitness industry don't sell the hard work to the clients they want to get. We need to be the opposite and understand that the result that you want to get is going to be quite a mundane, boring process. But in that, you can get consistency. You will get amazing results. But if you know this stuff now, you're going to set yourself up for success.
Ooh, I like that one. Are we doing one more? Should I do one more?
One more.
Okay. Don't shortchange yourself. Whatever you're thinking you can make, whatever you're thinking you can earn, whatever you think you could do with your life and for your life, aim higher.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was good, Jamie. Okay. We'll finish, guys, with this short thing at the very end, almost a finisher thing. We're going to go through storytelling for the last 5 minutes, okay? Share a story in your business or in your life as you're growing your business that relates to something you learned, a lesson you learned, maybe where you had a struggle, you failed, and it was because your foundation wasn't strong in a certain area, or you had to learn a lesson on how to build a stronger foundation. And use a story, maybe a short story, brief story, guys. So let's go to, who would like to go first? Ross?
Go ahead.
I'm always good. My one is always in the back of my mind, and this is a perfect goal-setting foundational one. I started a private personal training studio with 2 other guys who are over in the UK. And at the beginning was that, look, this is going to be a multinational. You're going to be able to go to Thailand and be greeted in the same way. And that was our goal on day one. But then 2 years later,
oh, did we lose Ross?
Oh, no.
Am I here?
Oh, you're back now, buddy.
My apologies. Yeah. So the expectations that we set at the beginning were not revisited all the time. So 2 years later, when life happens, the whole place completely broke down, not because we weren't passionate about what we did, but because the goals we set in year one were not revisited on year 2, and people grow apart and you don't change that. So goal setting is important, but it's not a one and done process. It's a dynamic document. Things are going to change, life's going to happen. So make sure that when you're setting the foundations for your business, you are resetting them and reviewing them all the time.
Well said, Ross. Well said. Jamie?
I started off charging $75 per program, and each one was personalized, and I took on anybody and everybody, and I fought Matt so hard to go from 75 to 147. And when I went to 147, I got more clients. And then I fought him again when he told me to go from 147 to 199. And when I did, I got more clients. But it was because I didn't have the belief in myself. It wasn't that I didn't think people were going to pay. The audience was there. I was not confident in what I was selling because I wasn't confident in myself. So I had to step into whatever you want to call it, my brave, step into my power, step into my authentic version of myself in order to take my business to the next level.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Jaime, Ross, what a pleasure we've had today, guys. Our first official TRM podcast show with these two glorious human beings. I can't wait to see your smiling face next week, Jaime. See your smiling face tomorrow on, actually both of you guys on Platinum tomorrow. And Ross, we're going to have you a lot, man. You're going to be a frequent flyer for the podcast show.
An absolute pleasure. Went super quickly, right?
Yeah, that did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks
All right,
for
guys.
having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
You guys are watching, guys. This will be on YouTube. It'll be on Stitch. It'll be on audio. You name it, guys. Share the episode. Share it on Instagram. Share it on wherever the heck platform you got, guys. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Have a blessed day. Let's keep trucking.
Thank you, Matt.
Boom.